Hey, welcome to TVC Live.
Yay, we're back.
Welcome back to episode.
And you're here too. That's even better. It's great that we're here, but it's better that you're there.
2. That's right. Yeah, exactly. We are so glad to be back here with you. Thanks for tuning in. So, yeah, I've got some great chats going on with Joanne and Pamela.
Number 1,000. About to get in her rig.
Woohoo.
This weekend.
Wendy's new to the group, so everybody say hi, Wendy. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. We have been really busy the last few weeks.
Yes and no. We took some time off.
We have a reputation to protect.
Yes, very busy.
We are out actually boondocking.
Yes, this is our first long time. I mean, I don't count Walmart or Cracker Barrel as boondocking, really. That's just parking for the night. But this is our first time really boondocking. We're out in Colorado between Salida and Buena Vista on Route 274. Or is it
County Road or Forest Road 274. Yeah. Raspberry Gulch. It's beautiful. We've got a couple of photos to show you in a minute, but it's really nice. We've really enjoyed the experience, learned a lot.
Yes. We've learned that we actually can make it a week on a tank of fresh tank.
Yeah, we've got about this much fresh water left.
Hey, Britton and Josh.
Oh, yeah, from the Tetons.
Still in the Tetons, or back in the Beat Tetons. Yeah, so it's been an experience, but we've enjoyed it. Yeah. I have to just remember that things get dirtier, and I just have to be okay with that. Yeah. Because we've had a lot of rain. It's been kind of messy. Yeah,
rain creates mud. But it's been a blast. Should we show them?
Oh, yeah, we're going to show you our boondocking. We actually are here with some friends. We all came out here, so you can see we have a couple of rigs going there. We've got one couple that was in a camper van. So for a short time, there was quite a few of us here. We were careful, though. I honestly promise you, we were very careful. And so wore the mask that we have to wear and did the things that we have to do. But we had lots of fun hanging out with them and enjoying some time with friends. That was great. So these are people we've met along the road and made good friends with and stayed in touch. So we had a lot of fun with them.
Yeah. And that was a week. Mount Princeton in the background. This is the collegiate.
Didn't even know there was a collegiate mountain.
Collegiate Mountain Range, Sawatch. I'm probably saying that wrong. Probably. Mountain range, but anyway, it's beautiful out here and excellent cell coverage. Although, just knock on wood, so far we've got good cell coverage, and hopefully that stays for the rest of the show.
Absolutely. Well, Wendy, that's exciting that you're new to Rving. Are you in a rig full time now, or are you a weekender? Let us know. Yeah. But we're excited to have you join us.
Glad you found us.
Yeah, very excited.
All right, so we've got a lot to cover tonight. Got a jam-packed show, as somebody used to say. David Letterman, maybe? I don't know. Somebody used to say that. So we've got Camille Attell with us. Virtually. We recorded an interview with her earlier this week.
She's a little busy this week.
And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But she is a wizard at remote working and helping people find remote work. And she's been in the RV community for years and really just a sweetheart of a person. And so I think you'll enjoy that interview.
Yep, absolutely. We also, another thing we wanted to show when we got here, boondocking, it was a week ago today, and we had, for that one night, we had a clear, cloudless sky. And so those of you that maybe had heard that Comet Neowise was out, and we did get to see it. So we want to show you a picture of the comet.
Now, this is not from here. This is it's a little dark, but this is taken by my partner in the photography business, David Downs, and we were out doing a workshop in Central Texas where we had a great dark sky and a view of the comet. So there's some ruins of the fort during our workshop.
So we did get to see it, though, here, along with the Milky Way and millions of stars. I've been so disappointed that we've had so much rain, if just because it's been so cloudy at night and we didn't get to see the rest of those stars or see the stars again. Maybe tonight. It looks like Maybe tonight it might be a little clearer though.
This is
we say that every
season.
night.
Yeah, every night. Oh, this is looking good. That's going to work tonight. No,
yes. So, and also while we've been off, we were in Wyoming for about a month. Most of that time. Of course, we were there for the last couple shows, as y'all might recall. We had a lot of internet issues.
Yeah, the fiasco. In the green room or whatever. Yeah, that was and.
But we did stay there and get to see Yellowstone.
Wyoming was amazing.
It was amazing. Really cool. So we're looking forward to sharing some of those pictures with you and a blog on Yellowstone. And
Grand Tetons.
And the Grand Tetons. And got to meet a couple of virtual campgrounders when we were there. And so we're going to talk about them as well. One that actually worked at Yellowstone. So that was really cool. And so we have some neat things to talk about there as well over the next month.
We saw Britton and Josh.
Yes, we saw Britton and Josh out of Normal, and got to meet Grady, who was awesome.
Grady, that's right, Grady, who's going to put in a 50 amp connection in his driveway just for us,
because he's just that kind of guy.
Everybody needs a Grady in their life.
Everybody does need a Grady in their life. So so we have a lot to talk about this whole month. So we're back tonight, and in August we're planning on continuing the conversation about remote work that we're going to start tonight with Camille. And talk about different aspects of remote work, because we know a lot of folks have asked about that, how to do it. We've gotten a lot of questions about internet connectivity and things. So we're lining up some great experts that will help us talk about how you might be able to work out of your out of your rig, or even actually these days out of your sticks and bricks. I mean, there's a whole lot of people nowadays working remotely for. I think we've all learned over the last few months that might be the one good thing that came out of it is that it is possible to get a lot done working.
I don't know. Is that remote. Good? Because now there's going to be so many other people trying to get our bandwidth.
Well, so did we start and I'm not clicked in right? I don't understand, Wendy.
Yeah, Wendy, we are live.
Yes.
I hope. Goodness
can everybody
gracious.
Hear us?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, out of normal.
Yeah, they said Grady. About Grady. So absolutely.
Yeah, Wendy, hope you can find us. But we are live.
I guess I should write her back because she won't hear that.
That's true. Forgot about that's how technology
that's how
works.
This works. Yes.
All
if she can hear us.
Stand by, folks. We're communicating with one of our.
You can go ahead.
Commenters here. Oh, Marcia's here, and she says she can hear us okay. I tell you, we don't need more people eating up this bandwidth.
All right.
Okay, so let's go. So we have Deborah's news, and then we have the interview with Camille, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about remote work, fun stuff.
We have some fun stuff. Oh, and then we have a really fun interview that we
did.
A new segment to share with you. So we'll talk about that. And then, I was going to give y'all a preview. And then, so August is kind of remote work. And then September, we're going to talk with some folks on those kind of places that are probably on your bucket list for traveling to in your RV, but you have to plan ahead, like Canada, Mexico, Alaska, all the places we can't go to right now anyway. Right. So, but this will give you some information because these are places you'll want to plan ahead.
That's right.
So, good. Thank you. They can hear us over at Stout Life.
Yeah. So good luck, Wendy.
I don't know if that's through the window or on the internet, but they are one of the couples here. So, at any rate, So Wendy, I hope you're there. Okay, so we ready?
Ready.
Okay.
I can't tell you how ready I am.
He has been very ready all day.
I am so ready. Here we go. Deborah's news. Stand by. Please welcome Deborah for Deborah's news.
All right, so we are going to give you some news and that you can use here. That wasn't very good. Sorry, no, it's not.
You might have to workshop that.
Yeah, I have to workshop that. They just came out of my mouth. Okay, the first one is the fact that the Great Outdoors Act got passed. I think that's really exciting.
Yeah.
And what that did, it's now passed the House and the Senate. It's going to the White House for approval and is expected to be approved. This gave billions of dollars to help our national parks and some conservation efforts. So that is really great. It's going to really help fund some maintenance projects and infrastructure things. Things like this is a picture of the Yellowstone Road Loop Road that needs some reinforcing, knowing how many people are on it. It is beautiful. And also their entrances, which hopefully that means they can make them expanded. Yeah. Because even for when we went to Yellowstone, notably less people than would normally be there.
Yeah.
And it was quite a backup at the entrance.
Oh, yeah. And here's the thought. If there's anybody from the National Park Service listening, and I don't think there is, but if they're, put a fast pass lane in. So if you have an annual pass, you can go to that lane and just zip through.
Which is totally worth it to have an annual pass for those of you that are looking at that. Yeah. It's also going to help support, the money is also going to help support public lands. Like from the forestry, so it'll help the places like where we are right now, the BLM lands that we're at, and add some land around some of the national parks for some conservation. So it's really an exciting thing for those of us that loved getting out to the national parks, that this has passed.
That's awesome.
That's good news.
That's great news.
The other good news is, I don't know if some of you have ever heard, one of the national parks, Joshua Tree, had to close 2 of their campgrounds, Jumbo Rocks and Cottonwood, because of some very aggressive bees.
Oh my gosh.
They were just honeybees.
I had not heard that.
Yes, they had closed. And it wasn't that they were stinging people. They think that because of the drought, it was driving the bees. They were very thirsty. So they were going into the campgrounds and getting into vehicles.
Are you just making this up?
I'm not making this up. Would I make this up? This
sounds made up.
It does sound made up. But it was really making campers very uncomfortable to have honeybees buzzing them for some reason. And so they closed the campgrounds, but they are now back open. So that's very exciting.
That is very exciting.
Not open and not very exciting is that Canada and Mexico have extended the closure of the borders. I guess I should say Canada, United States, and Mexico are all continuing to have the borders stay closed until, at this point now, August 21st. So we will see if it gets extended again. But due to the COVID continuation, it has been extended, and they still, for those people that do go into Canada, like essential workers and things, they still have a 14-day quarantine as well. So
I guess our
that
friends
continues.
From Keep Your Daydream aren't going to make it to Canada this year.
I don't think they're going to make it to Nova Scotia. And then in RV news, just
what a cool picture.
That is a lovely picture taken by Mr. Benton. Just there was a industry association, the RV Industry Association did a survey. 46 million Americans are planning an RV trip in the next 12 months.
Whoa.
That sounds like a lot of people,
doesn't it? That's way too many.
Way too many. They're saying that rentals and, see, Teresa says I wouldn't make up something. That rentals and purchases are now outpacing supply. And like just here in Colorado, they've seen a 22% increase in campers over last year. So
no wonder we can't find a campground.
Right, exactly. We might have to all make some plans and campground reservations farther in advance than we're used to doing. Mm-hmm. And also, speaking of RVs, Airstreams are up. Their demand is up 100%.
Wow.
But they also, this is kind of good news, especially again talking about I don't think they were Africanized. They were just honeybees. Yeah. But sorry, I diverged.
Darn commoners.
But Airstream is starting to realize that remote work is here to stay, remote work and school work. And so they are now partnering up with AT&T on some of their models and putting in a more powerful antenna for internet connectivity.
Good.
So hopefully that'll start a trend with all of the RV.
I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to lag. It's going to take a long time, but I think the infrastructure is going to improve a great deal over the next 5-10 years or so. And then everybody's going to be working remote.
Probably so. And so we'll have to have much stronger internet everywhere.
Bad news for the commercial real estate industry, and I'm sorry if you're into that.
And then in our final story, Walmart. Some of us have a lot of use for Walmart as we're traveling around. Well, Walmart has just announced that starting in August and going through October, they're going to, in about 160 of their parking lots, start a drive-in.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? They're even going to, of course, deliver snacks to your car.
Of course.
You order them. Of course. How convenient. But they have partnered up with Tribeca, which I think is the Tribeca Enterprises, which I think is the one that do the Tribeca Film Festival in New York. And they are bringing movies to your nearby Walmart, which is good news and sort of bad news for those of us in RVs that maybe count on Walmart on occasion. It's only 160 across the country, so we'll see how it goes. I think there's some in Texas, and I'm not sure where else.
I wonder if that'll affect overnight parking. It's going to take a lot of real estate in the parking lots.
Well,
for sure.
I imagine they have to, for sure, because think about by the time it gets dark,
yeah.
So I can't imagine.
Although winter, it'll get darker sooner, but
it's
it'll be an
October,
interesting.
August to October.
Oh, okay. Well, that's yeah. Well, they'll be.
But it's only 160.
Yeah.
So there you go. That is the news to catch you up from a whole month of not having news from me.
Fine job. A fine job, Deborah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, now before we get into this next section, I do have some improvisation that I did not tell Deborah about. So you may have seen the comment earlier from Deb's mom. She's in the chat, or was earlier.
Hi, Mom.
This week,
Love you.
the 31st, is Deborah's birthday.
Friday.
If we choose to acknowledge it. Because of COVID, we were thinking about maybe we would just ignore.
Many of us have decided this year doesn't count, so we all just get to stay the same age we were
That's
already.
right. So everybody wish Deborah a happy birthday. Happy birthday, baby.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Birthday to me.
Okay, so now we've got Camille.
Yes,
Queued
that's
up.
right. Yes.
Fantastic remote work savant.
Yeah, Camille has been, Camille is a full-time RVer, and she's been on the road for about 4 years, which I think she's going to tell us a little bit in her interview as well. But she really went out there and was trying to decide how to sustain their life on the road and started up her business. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. Thank y'all for the birthday wishes. That makes me distracted. So anyway, so it was interesting because we did post on our Facebook, in our email, that's right. And I had a lot of replies about how people are doing remote work. And there's a lot of really cool things that people are doing out there. There's, of course, a lot of folks that have their own businesses. There are some, one lady, Amy, said she helps run an institute for emotional intelligence and that they coach life coaches. So that was kind of good.
Yeah.
Are interesting. A lot of IT professionals that can do it remote. Anne mentioned that she was a camp host, and Rena is a virtual assistant, which I think that's a pretty popular remote work as well. Paula said she was a CPC, so I had to write her back and say I don't know what that is. And it's a certified professional medical coder. So she kind of runs that between the doctor and the insurance. She helps the coding.
She has to read what the doctor writes.
Yeah, and then code it.
Good luck with that.
Dawn is a professor. She's actually an English professor, which, of course, these days is probably getting to be more common with all the online classes. Yep. And Johnny, who's not on here right now, Johnny Lightning, he has a lot of rentals. So, anyway, and then, of course, I had to have at least one person replied, and she was gloating because she's retired.
Oh.
So she doesn't have to work remotely. So anyway, but this is going to be really interesting. Camille kind of talks to us a little bit about what she's doing and how she's helping people reinvent themselves, really. And she's been doing some master classes, and I think Joanne, I know, was in the master class with me today at 2. So we can share a little bit about what she talked about after you watch this now.
Yeah, so if you do have questions about the remote work stuff that Camille's doing, then put it in the chat. We will try to answer what we can, but Camille will be getting with us later after the show later this week. If you have a question we can't answer, and we will get those to her. All right. So here's the interview with Camille. Enjoy.
Hi.
Hey,
nice
Camille.
to see you.
Yeah, welcome to TVC Live. Recorded.
Thank you. It's been a really long time.
Yes, it has. I know. We haven't seen you in a couple years, I don't think.
Yeah.
In person, anyway. So,
we're so glad you're here. Thanks for popping on.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're really excited. We are on TVC. We're going to start this month talking a lot more about working remotely because lots of people have been asking about it, and we've had lots of questions about how we do it or what are the best ways to do it. And I thought the best way to kick off this month is with you, who I consider the guru of working remotely. Right. So I wanted to, first of all, I guess, introduce you to the audience in case somebody hasn't heard of you, and tell us a little bit about you and your RV life.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. I'm really honored that you're kicking off the month by having me. So thank you for that. Again, my name is Camille Attell, and I've been a full-time RVer for just about 4 years as of this recording. My husband, Bryce, and I left in August of 2016. And we full-time, since that day, I mean, we practically had never been in an RV before that. We just got in and drove. And we've covered something like 41 states. I think at this point we're up to about maybe 36,000 miles. Bryce
Wow.
meticulously keeps track of every national monument, national park, all the things. So it's been a wild ride, to say the least.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a lot of miles.
So now, before you went into the RV life, you were in corporate world, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes. So then when you went into the RV, y'all stopped the corporate life, or did you work remotely with corporate?
Well, so we pulled the plug, I call it. We had both worked in corporate for really our entire adult lives. Between the two of us, I think we've clocked about 50 years, collectively in various jobs. And I had been kind of doing some remote work with my corporate job. I had a manager out in Texas and I was in California. So I got to experience what it was like to not have a manager breathing down my neck every day. And I loved it. And so I actually tried to negotiate with my company to keep me on, but just keep me remote. And this was in 2015, well, early 2016, they said, "Oh no, we don't do that here. That's not a thing that's going to work." Well, of course, in March of 2020, overnight, they had a 3,000 person workforce go remote. So,
exactly.
Yeah. So, when we got into the RV, we had very little experience going remote in a nomadic fashion, I would say. Like, I didn't have any kind of like traveling and working, not really, not like that. So that was very, very new to us.
So how did you end up funding your early years of RVing?
So the original plan was not much of a plan at all, which I would not recommend to anyone. I just think Bryce and I had gotten to the point where we were so tired of our samey life. We had gone through a number of years of setbacks, both medically. We had a flood in our house that created mold. We had to move out, live in hotels. It was just a couple of years of dragging and we were done. And so we walked away and we said, you know what? We think we're smart people. I think we could figure out how to find some jobs, So the first few months was really using our what we had built up for some savings. But I panicked really early on. I would say about month 3, I really was like, we are burning through cash fast. Like, this is not a good plan. Mm-hmm. So I just started throwing myself at everything. My first remote job was an acting gig on Craigslist. Super random.
Oh, fun.
Wow.
Yeah. While our RV was getting repairs in Oregon, I just got very scrappy, I call it. And I started looking for jobs and I found 3. And I got offered 2, and one of them was a super random acting gig. It was one day, but I mean, it like the first remote money I had ever made
was acting. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then that just snowballed into getting very savvy with working my way through the online networks, as well as networking at different events and connecting with other RVers and associations.
What do you think holds people back from working remotely?
I think it's a couple of things. I think number one, people don't realize that it's real. I think that it sounds like some fantasy land,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to work remote. Yes. And then they maybe dabble and then they find scams because scams are out there and it really scares people into thinking it's all fake. And then the second thing that holds people back is a type of confidence or a bit of insecurity about skills. I think a lot of people feel like they don't have the skills to work online because a lot of remote jobs are online, not all of them, but a lot. And a lot of people feel like, well, I haven't really worked online. I've never worked remotely. I don't know all the programs. And when I talk to people, I show them that they have so many transferable skills and they have worked online. They just don't connect the dots of how they've done it. So I think a lot of it is just getting stuck in their minds about what's possible. It's not because there aren't enough jobs and it's not because they're not qualified. It's really how they think about it.
And does the technology piece of it hold them up much? Because that is pretty daunting.
Well, I'll tell you what's daunting because I'll tell you I am not a tech person by any stretch. I mean, I tell people the fact that I run a 100% business or online business is nothing short of a miracle because of the technology. But I will say this, it's like anything, it's a learning curve. And I think that a lot of us that are a little bit older and are kind of get newer to this lifestyle, you got to go back to when you learned anything. I mean, when you learned a new instrument, or you learned how to do a new skill, or you learned how to do anything. It's just you're back in a learning curve that is foreign. Yeah. But you just got to stick with it. You got to be patient with yourself. There's a lot of free training. There's a lot of very intuitive software that's out there. Look, I tell people, if I can do it, almost anyone can do it.
What do you think is the so if somebody wanted to start considering remote work, what is like a timeline they should give themselves? I mean, should they bone up on some technology skills, and some runway? That's a good way to say it.
Yeah, I think it's very situational. It depends on the person. If I had to do it all over again, I wish I would have started probably at least 3 months before I hit the road, so I'd have a bit more stability and not so much panic. However, I've had people come into my school, remote work school, and get a job in a week. Wow. And so it really depends on how motivated you are, what you're willing to do. You know, are you flexible? Can you think a little bit outside the box? What is your budget? I mean, these are all questions you really have to dial in. But I think it is good to have runway if you can do that. But if you can't, there's no reason why you couldn't pick some work up in the next couple of weeks if you really had to. I mean, not everyone, but the majority of people.
Right. And are you seeing a lot more people these days? I know you kind of started out probably helping people that were in the RV world, but I'm guessing now you're seeing a lot more people that you're helping that are not in the RV world.
No kidding.
Yeah, I would say, you know, when I've been running remote work school for over 2 years now, and in the beginning I had a lot of RVers come in, and then I noticed a trend where about a third of the people that come in aren't even interested in RVing. They just want to have more flexibility, or really nowadays more security. And so I am working with what I'm calling the new remote retired. Because I have a very strong passion for helping people that are kind of in that pre-retirement transition phase really set themselves up remotely, because I believe that going remote is the new path to retirement. I really do. I think it's one of the things we have the most control over right now, especially. And I'm not excluding RVers by any stretch. I still have the bulk of people be RVers. But I'm not limiting that. I'm not saying, oh, if you don't RV, you know, I don't help you or anything like that.
Well, and especially nowadays, almost like you said earlier, almost all of us are now remote workers, where I live in an RV or a sticks and bricks. And and to your point, I think a lot more people are saying, hey, I think this is kind of interest because there's a lot more stability and I can create my own hours. And they've also kind of learned over the last couple of months of working from home, this is kind of nice. I kind of like this. Not driving and commuting. Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's awesome. So what do you think are some of the biggest, what would be a great tip you might give somebody that's really thinking now about working remotely?
Well, I think if you're thinking about working remotely, then you already have the desire to do it, and don't give in to the fear. I think what happens is people say, oh, I want to work remotely. And then the next thought that comes up is something like, but I can't, or, oh, but I now it doesn't feel right because the job market is so scattered. Now, by the way, now is the best time because the job market is so scattered, and really we're seeing a massive loss of jobs. But what we're also seeing is a massive increase of remote jobs. So while one side goes down, we're seeing an increase in the other side, which, by the way, I talk about on the masterclass, that there's still one available, by the way, as of this recording. So, you know, there's so many tips I could give people, but I think the biggest one is just lean into it and know that you're more skilled than you're giving yourself credit for, and that if you want a remote job, you can get one. It is very doable.
Yes. So speaking of your masterclass, so you are this week, you're offering up 2 courses, and the masterclass is a great way for folks to get an introduction to those courses, right? And there's one more left on Wednesday at, I wrote it down and now, 7 p.m.
Eastern.
Yeah. So people could still have a chance to watch your masterclass, because you do a lot of teaching in this masterclass. You don't just like try to sell a course. You're really sharing with people some information, so they have a chance to get some information for you, plus learn a little bit more about the courses if they're interested. So tell us a little bit more about the masterclasses.
Sure. The masterclasses are free, and they are action-packed, full of very valuable information. If anyone has ever been to, a masterclass or a webinar, a lot of people will say, wow, I don't know if I got anything out of it, or it felt like a sales pitch. I am the complete opposite of that. I give away so much free, high value content. People walk away going, wow, that was free. That was like, I have action items to go make this happen. So you will get a taste of my style there. You will learn a lot. In fact, I give 4 specific ways to reinvent yourself for remote work or business. And then at the very end, I do talk more about my 2 programs that, yes, right now they are both open. One is the Remote Work 101, which I call the core program. This is more of an entry level. You're stepping into remote work. You believe you want to work for someone else, like as, maybe you're employed part-time, full-time, or maybe you're going to dabble in some freelance. So it's a perfect beginner level, get started, nuts and bolts course. And then I have a more advanced coaching program called the Remote Reinvention Business Program. It's a 6-week hands-on. I'm coaching you. It's a very specific methodology that I'm walking you through to get up and running quickly if you want to start selling services or products and you're like, I am done working for other people. I am working for myself. So those are the 2 options that I'll be talking about at the very end of the masterclass.
Awesome.
Great.
Sound great.
Yes. And these classes are proven classes because you've been teaching and working with people for years now, right? So you started out, like we started out earlier talking, you started out sort of dabbling in lots of different things, but you really found your passion and combination of all your great strengths with these classes and courses. You want to talk a little bit about that that journey?
Yes. In fact, it's so ironic because I ended up where I began. I was a corporate trainer for years, 20 plus years, corporate training, HR, management, tried and true. I'm actually certified in training methodologies. So that's my background. And I also have a counseling master's degree in what's called virtual psychology. I'm one of the early people in that. I know. It's so weird that I'm back to my roots. I tried to get away from my roots and I ended up coming back to my roots. It's not funny.
Of course.
Out of what we know, I guess. But yeah, and then, so I've been training people, counseling people, coaching people for many, many years. And I took all of that plus my nomadic remote experience and I kind of cobbled that all together. Cobble makes it sound like it's not solid, but it's super solid.
Yep.
Put it all together in a very comprehensive set of courses. And yesterday I looked at the number of people who I've helped in remote work school, and it's 485.
Wow, that's incredible.
Wow.
That's really impressive. Yes.
Yeah, you take your background in the education and then combine that with the fact that you felt that panic and felt that you had to jump in and learn everything you could about remote work, which, there's no better way to learn than to be panicked and feel like you have to do it and dive in. So you combine those 2 things. Yeah.
So true.
What do you think, what's a tip that really to be successful? So I found my remote whatever, and I want to move forward with it. What would help us be the most successful?
I think it depends. If you want to talk about finding, say, a remote job where you're working for somebody else, the thing that's going to keep you most successful is if you are super dependable. And this is really important when it comes to people who RV, right? Because we're always moving. There's always new internet challenges to learn. And nowadays you even have challenges with, public Wi-Fi not being quite as accessible with some of the places shutting down and all of that. You have to be very flexible. You have to plan ahead and just show up as much as you can on time, ready to go, so that your boss or the person you're reporting to never has to question if you're reliable or not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be number one. In terms of running your own business for people who want to go that direction, like myself and you guys, it's really about a lot of patience, I think, and just being willing to commit to the journey, because it is a bit of a journey. Like you already mentioned, the technology is a journey. If you're new to business, I was completely new to business, by the way. It's not like I had a business background. I was a tried and true. Yeah, I was a corporate girl through and through. So trying to learn a new business, learn how to RV, and learn how to do technology all at the same time is a lot. And so I think patience, just sticking with it and not setting expectations too high, but just being very realistic and just keep going. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right, right. Because you didn't start out with all these courses right away. You started out with some starting slow, building it up, and then over time. Right. And were there times specific for an RVer? So were there times where y'all found it easier just to sort of park and stay stable so you can work on something and get it up and going? Or did y'all keep moving quite a bit?
We move a lot. We moved way too fast, especially year one. We averaged about 3 days in a place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We had no idea. We were so in over our heads. We quickly learned. Yeah, I mean, but here's the reality. I think I've figured out that no matter whether we're moving or not moving, it all comes back down to mindset and just really being able to be patient, be diligent. Sometimes, we park it for like a couple of weeks just to get, grounded, but that does not guarantee anything.
No, it doesn't. No. I keep thinking we'll park somewhere and I'll think, okay, I'm going to get a lot done right now. We're going to get this all done, but no, something will distract you or
shiny objects and
hikes and pretty things.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, tell us, again, the masterclass is on Wednesday at 7.
Yes.
And we're going to have, in the show notes, we're going to have the links that go to the courses, and we can also put in there the link for the masterclass. What else do people need to know?
Well, I think if people have questions, that they are more than welcome to come to the masterclass and ask me anything. I do a very generous Q&A at the end where I just sort of hang on until all the questions are answered. So if people are watching and they're like, I really have more questions, then come to the masterclass. I'll answer them live. Trying to think if there's anything else. I can't think of anything else. What do you guys have? Anything?
Well, we'll have the in the show notes. We'll have the links to all the to everything. So,
and if somebody was as they're watching this on the live show, if they're asking questions, we'll try to help or direct you to the right places to get the information, and then again to the masterclass as well. So, Exactly.
Well, thank you, Camille, for coming on. It was so delightful to catch up to you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with the launch and with the cart and on all the courses.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, there she is.
Here she is. It's always so strange to watch ourselves. We're not sure what to do. Yeah. She, I actually did attend her masterclass today, and she gives out some great information. She did stay on probably 30 extra minutes to answer questions, so that was great. We will put the link in the show notes tonight to let you know if you want to attend tomorrow's masterclass. I think she still has some room in it, and that way you can learn a lot more and hear what she has to say. A lot of what she's talking about is really that sort of idea of reinventing yourself and reinventing yourself for remote work, whether that's you want to work as an employee for someone and you want to just be able to negotiate your value and get paid fairly. There's a herd of cows passing us right now, so it's a little distracting. Or if you want to start your own business. So she has some great tips and thoughts about that. I know, Joanne, you were on there. If you have anything you want to add to what she talked about in the comments, that'd be great. She... I don't know, all of y'all don't know our own story, but we started out RVing, and both of us worked remotely for other people. Barry still works remotely for someone else, for a photography company. And then and I did some consulting. And then when those things ended, we were looking for something new for me to do, some other options. And that's when we got the virtual campground, and why we are now here with you now. So this idea of working remotely and having an opportunity to get to connect with all of you and with our wider audience was what drove us into the virtual campground, and we really enjoy it. But it also gives us, hopefully, that flexibility and freedom that Camille talks about, and long-term security that this could be something that eventually, when you stop with the W-2, whatever you keep telling me it is, your employer, then we have something to go back on. Just the same reason we also started Benton Downs.
A little more flexibility.
Yeah, a lot more flexibility and a lot more freedom. So I think that's two of the reasons most of us get into RVing in the first place, right? Is flexibility and freedom. So the other thing, just to let you all know, is that along with the masterclass is free and available for anyone that wants to watch it from Camille. But then she does talk at the end of it about some courses. We are offering a bonus if you use our affiliate link. So yes, we do get a small commission if you go through our link to purchase Camille's course, one of the courses or both. We are offering a bonus. We're going to redo our renovations book, our RV renovations book, to make sure it has a chapter on working from your rig and how you might set that up and what that can look like, and some great things. So, okay, Joanne's not in it until tomorrow. But Joanne won $25 gift card from Camille because she answered the Camille's trivia question correctly. So Joanne's so good. She's our 1,000th person and 25. She's good. She's a good time. She has good luck timing. Charm. Exactly. So anyway, we are going to offer a bonus with our book. So we're going to update it to talk about your office. So hopefully that's a nice little bonus on top of the bonuses that Camille's going to be offering as well. So lots of really great things. Does anybody have any questions based on Camille's remote work or just remote work in general? Certainly all of us are probably already doing a lot of remote work. I know several of the people that I see on here that we know all have their own businesses. So, and Teresa Ott is on here as well, and she is going to be on next week with her husband Brian, and they're going to talk about Brian websites. Well, Teresa for sure. We're not sure about Brian yet. Thank you, Marcia. Yeah, I'm hoping so.
And you said we were going to put the affiliate link in the notes?
In the show notes, because I can't really off the top of my head say it. So it was also in the letter that we sent out Sunday. Okay. So if you use the link that was in the email on Sunday to get to the masterclass, that will also take you to the course. So, and if you need the course one, you can also email me directly. So at Deborah@thevirtualcampground.com. So, at any rate, yes, Teresa, yay. Teresa's going to be on next week to talk about websites, because a lot of us that have our own businesses, or even, I think, personal, if you have blogs, you want to know a little bit more. We started off with just a personal blog. And so you want to know more about some good things about how to have the best kind of website. Yeah, how to start. Then that's what we did. When David and I started our website, we just sort of cobbled it together. And it turns out we did quite a few things wrong. But it was a great experience just to get started. But if you're ready for that next level and you're ready to spend some money and make a commitment to a bigger, better website, the Otts are a great option for that. And Teresa and Brian run a fearless venture. Yeah. Yes, and so they do great work with websites. They work on the virtual campground, they work on Benton Downs, and they work on many of the folks several of our friends. So that is what I had. All right. Well, what a good job you did today. Thank you. So we will close this out with a new segment that we did. We have done an interview before with the KOA and URA. And so we're going to try to do more of that. And we've got a short segment built into the closing here. That's going to be tips from the campground owner. So she's going to talk briefly, after she does a quick little introduction, briefly about some things that she wishes that people that were booking campsites knew, and just some general things from a campground owner perspective. So
we hope to do this more often, and we hope you find it interesting.
So, actually, we got a question.
Oh, what?
Pamela is asking, how difficult is it to get health benefits with remote jobs? I think that really depends, Pamela. We're kind of blessed in that we do still have some health insurance through the Barry's employer. I've had other folks tell us that if you are domiciled in Florida,
Yep.
that Florida has a program that a lot of folks we know use. And Camille has she makes one suggestion in one of her course modules about health insurance, but she doesn't go into it specifically, though we can certainly put you in touch with people that know more about health insurance if that's something you're really curious about.
And Jeremy, I don't think is on tonight, but Jeremy,
he does the Florida.
he posted he does Florida. I think Blue Cross Blue Shield through Florida.
So there are some options for you if you're a remote worker, of course. And like I said, Camille, I know, mentions one and then has some references if people need others. Insurance is one of those things that none of us feel comfortable really talking about because we don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
Just can tell you kind of what we all do.
You know, and in that resources page, we should add some, when we do that, we should add something about insurance because it is a complicated topic. And I think, Pamela, you could also look at the Escapers Facebook page. That's quite a common topic in that Facebook group about insurance. So you might join that group if you're not a member and put that question out there for them.
Yep. And Barry mentioned a resource page. So one of the things we did while we were on hiatus,
Take a drink
for those of you that know that, that we worked a little bit on some things we're going to do on the website. So one of the things we're working on is a resource page that we can offer these answers to these questions that come up and hopefully
trusted
resources for you to use. So we're excited about that. We're going to add a few things to the website that we'll talk a little bit more as over the next month as we start getting a little further along on them. But we're excited. We had a meeting today actually to get started on it. So we're very excited about adding some things to the website that we hope add more value for you and help create a stronger community. And then back to what Barry was saying, because I don't see any more questions, about the campground owners. We did, as y'all know, back in April, talk to the people from Rving, and that was really more about their campground, but we really are excited about this idea of talking to campground owners to get a little bit more insight and background to the other side of the camping for many of us. Now, we're going to do it for the campgrounds we go to and talk to those folks. But if you guys are somewhere in a campground and want to talk to them and record it and send it to us, we're excited if you want to participate with this idea. You can kind of ask us for some questions, or you can make up your own, or you can listen to this one with Lily. I stayed mostly with Lily for a long weekend a couple weeks ago, and just down the road from where we are right now in Howard. And she was delightful. So I'm excited to share her interview with you all and for you to see it.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And I can recommend her campground.
Yeah, Sugarbush in Howard, Colorado. Neat little campground. Doesn't have a ton of room for big rigs, but she's got a few slots that are bigger.
We're 37 and we fit fine. And so she has a couple. She is smaller, but more specialized.
Yeah.
So she has a few that are good for bigger rigs, and then plenty for smaller, and then a few campground tent sites as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for
Teresa.
being here.
Teresa says,
thanks, Teresa.
You're gonna like what we got.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. Thanks for being here. It's so exciting to be back, and glad you are here. Thanks for being here. Please tell your friends about us. If you're out there active in the RV community, please get out there and tell everyone about us. And if you are not yet a member or subscriber to our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to that. Hit that bell to get notified. Like this YouTube channel. Go watch every single other YouTube we've ever done video. Help us out. That would be sincerely appreciated. We thank you very much.
Let us know if you have any other topics or things you want us to talk about or people you want us to interview. We're always open to that. And Mom, I love you very much, and thank you for having me. 20 some odd years ago. Yeah, exactly.
So thanks for being here. As we play you out, we'll still be in the chat, so feel free to chat with us. We will see you next time. Until then, we hope to see you in the virtual campground.
See you around the campfire.
Dunning, and I own Sugarbush Campground in Howard, Colorado.
Where is Howard, Colorado?
I'm 13 miles east of Salida and about 45 miles west of Canyon City. So kind of, it's a bedroom community of Salida. There's really not a whole lot here. It's just basically a few campgrounds, a post office, and a cafe.
It is, but it's a lovely part of the world. Is it now? There are mountains nearby.
We've got the Arkansas River, mountains. I'm right off of 50, but the Arkansas River is behind my park. I don't have access to the river from my park, but I have a lot of beautiful trees. We're basically in like Ponderosa pine country and firs and all kinds of stuff. So
yeah, it smells good. It smells like pines.
Yeah. It does. It's like a Christmas
A Christmas, yeah, exactly. So how long have you owned the campground?
I have had the campground since beginning of 2017. So this will be, I'm in the middle of my 4th season.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you wish that campers, people like me, knew about campgrounds?
I don't know how to answer this. You don't need to do any landscaping or I guess take it upon yourself to quote unquote help out in some areas, because I think sometimes things are done for a particular reason, if that makes sense.
No.
Well, like don't cut any bushes down.
Oh wow, people would do that?
Yeah, don't rearrange things because, you know, in a sense, I mean, of course move your picnic table, your fire rings, whatever, but don't
move rocks.
Yeah,
and
don't
bushes.
take down rock walls or don't remove bushes because for some reason you don't like it there, or, you know, things like that, I guess.
Oh, I would never even think to do that, but
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people that
I have seen that, and I didn't know if that was the kind of question or the
No,
kind
that
of
is,
thing you're.
yeah.
Oh, okay. And I guess my other thing would too is like, we don't necessarily like it when you clean out your whole RV into our dumpster because, you know, I don't need a mattress in my dumpster.
Oh goodness, no, because you all have to pay for that sort of thing.
Yeah, and you just want to make sure that you have enough capacity for all
Yes,
your guests and
yes.
their trash, you know. So if you're getting ready to leave, it's not the time to do
Empty
a big
out.
clean out.
No, I agree with you. there. People should know better. They are driving a rig. They can drive it to the dump ground
Yeah,
and take care of things.
Something.
Oh, funny. Do you have any advice for campers that would help them choose a campground better or know more about campground that would help them when they're camping?
Okay. I would say just, you know, ask a lot of questions because, you know, I don't feel like you're bothering the campground owner. It's not a big deal. Like, we want to help you. We're guest oriented, and if you have a concern about something or you have a specific focus, even if you're just wanting to know what to do in the area or anything like that, I'm always happy to hand out information, and I'll spend as much time on the phone with my guests as needed. So I think that's the more information you have, the less likely you'll be upset or disappointed once you arrive someplace.
That's a good advice, yes. And if a campground owner isn't that willing as you are, then probably not the right campground to go visit.
Yeah, if they don't want to answer those questions,
they're probably not very customer focused. We're going to have a different issue. So what would you tell people that are coming to this area to do? Or to visit?
I would definitely say rafting. I really enjoy it. It is so fun. I've only been a couple times, but it's amazing. It's just such an interesting perspective to be on the river rather than looking at the river. I would say there's a lot of great hikes. I always tell people of kind of my favorite little places to go that I've just discovered over the last few years. I definitely go to Salida. I always tell people, go to Salida, go to downtown Salida. It's so cute and very quaint and sweet. Typically we have a lot of festivals there. Every Thursday we would have a live music out in the park by the river, which is amazing. Obviously this year they're not doing that, but they will again eventually. So yeah, I always try to promote Salida.
Excellent. That's our next stop.
You're going to like it.
Yeah. So basically, if campers want to make sure they're getting the best site at a campground, your suggestion is to ask questions.
I would say ask questions. You know, what's important to you. But also I would say, you know, be understanding, because especially in my particular situation, if you have a smaller camper, you might want one spot, but it's like, I can only fill that, you know, it's a big shuffling game in a sense. You know, you're trying to get as many people in and please as many people on their vacations and this, that, and the other. But if you have a 10-foot camper, I'm not going to put you in a spot that I can only fit one 40-foot camper in, you know, because I'm going to get 20 calls for that 40-foot camper. And, you know, so, and I don't mean to sound like callous about saying that. It's just kind of but yeah, be communicative with what you want. Understand that, yeah, I have a lot of trees, you know, and that's great. And people all want shade, and I get it. But there are going to be times of the day that you might not have shade on that spot, even though you're surrounded by trees. And so I guess just be a little bit understanding. But I definitely ask questions and figure out what's most important to you.
So that's one question I've always had for camp owners, is that it sounds like for you, we tell you the kind of rig we have and you figure out what the best spot is. Do you tell the person when they make the reservation what spot they're going to be in, or you wait till they arrive?
I guess both. It kind of depends. I mean, there are times that I know that you're going to be in this spot because, you know, and I will, if I tell someone or someone wants a specific spot, I mark that on my book.
So tell everybody how they can find you.
I'm at sugarbushco.com. I've got reviews on Google and TripAdvisor, so those are great to check out. I do all my reservations on the phone. I don't do online reservations, as we're talking on a small park, so it just makes more sense for me to not buy a large software system. And you can call me on the phone at all times. I'm here and available.
What's your phone number?
719-942-3363.
All right. Thank you very much, Lily.